A break from this brutal heat wave. Windstorm chances ramp up and bust temperatures back to the 80s.
A new bill that would expand remote renewals of driver's licenses. It's all part of the solution to shorten wait times and long lines at the DMV.
A Burlington company has figured out how to capture and destroy toxic forever chemicals from drinking water. Why their mission is personal, coming up.
It is day 6 of 6 and ending our stretch of heat-related weather alert days. Thank goodness, and thank you for joining us here. I'm Dan Haggerty. Meteorologist Kat Kimball is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, so we got some relief coming, and we have some rain cooling us off.
A lot to talk about, but the heat wave is nearing the end. I think that's what most people want to hear right now. Tomorrow, we do have one more day in the 90s, though, ahead, but we've got more rain in the forecast, so that should really help us hopefully dip below heat advisory criteria. A cold front is coming. It's moving in from the northwest. As this front gets closer to us, we will see storm chances increase. 95 the high tomorrow, and then we drop down into the low to mid 90s by the weekend, even into the start of next week. Temperatures sitting in the low 90s, the heat index 97 still, and our heat advisory remains in effect until 8 o'clock. Today, a 30% chance of a storm. Nothing menacing out there right now. I'll show you when the storms are likely to fire up tomorrow coming up.
Sounds good. Thank you, Kat. And the heat is moving out, but rain and storms are moving in. You can track the showers with the newly redesigned WRAL weather app. Free to download, of course. Remember to turn on those push notifications so you can get important weather alerts sent right to your home screen. Rezoning for taller towers. Developers, they want to build high rises, big ones as tall as 40 stories in Raleigh's North Hills. Community members are hearing from builders about the plans this evening, and WRAL's Willie Danley was sitting in on that meeting. Willie, give us an idea. What are we hearing from folks tonight?
Well, Dan, it was a packed house tonight, and I spoke to quite a few people. Some people tell me that they're open to the idea, and they showed up tonight to learn more about the proposal, and others tell me that it's a hard no, and they're firmly against the idea. I want you to take a look at this. This is a rendering of what they're proposing to be built here in North Hills. People who live in the area are familiar with the name Kane Realty because back in 2021, the same company proposed rezoning the same area, but those plans were withdrawn 2 years later. Now a representative from that company tells me the difference between the rezoning request that was made 4 years ago and the one that's being made next month is that they do not plan to add any additional density to the area. I asked the company how this proposal would change the skyline and if they had any plans on how to ease the flow of traffic.
We're not asking for more density, so we're not going to be adding more people to North Hills than we could with our current zoning. But we are proactively looking at traffic solutions. We are going to commit to add a turn lane from Lasser Mill onto Six Forks Road.
As I said, a lot of people living in this area showed up tonight to raise concerns. Those concerns mainly included traffic and congestion issues that already exist in this area. Tune in to WRAL News at 10 and 11 tonight for more on this story. In North Hills, Willie Danley, WRAL News.
All right, Willie, thank you. Getting and renewing a driver's license hasn't been easy. Could get easier. State lawmakers passed a bill in the House today that would let you renew your driver's license online more often. It also eliminates a requirement that new drivers have to log their practice hours. WRAL's Kirsten Clark shares how lawmakers hope that this will reduce pressure on the DMV.
Lawmakers joined forces Wednesday on a mission to eliminate what they say would be hundreds of thousands of in-person visits at the DMV.
We can beat this. This is not hard. We just need to put our minds to it and do it.
A House majority did just that today in passing House Bill 245. Under the bill, most drivers needing to renew a license would save themselves a trip to the DMV. As for new drivers between ages 16 and 18, there are some requirements to get a full provisional license online. You must have a limited provisional license for at least 6 months, no traffic violations, and a driving eligibility certificate, high school diploma, or its equivalent. The 60 hours of driving practice required by the state must be logged and submitted, but the 12 hours required after that would be eliminated. We asked Joe Stewart about the safety of the bill as it eliminates some practice logging. He is the Vice President of Governmental Affairs with the Independent Insurance Agents of North Carolina and board chair of the North Carolina Alliance for Safe Transportation.
Having it chronicled in that way probably isn't as important as making sure that parents and guardians of young motorists are just deliberately helping their young people learn to be more effective drivers by getting them experience.
As for insurance, Stewart explains that rates cannot be directly based off a driver's age in North Carolina. And he says rates are less likely to go up if young drivers are getting the experience they need to avoid car accidents and traffic violations. However, Savannah Gregory, owner of Drivers of the Future Driving School, says driving logs should be more thorough and maintained as a requirement.
We have an epidemic of unprepared drivers in 2025. Anything that we can do to make that process more thorough and hold everyone accountable and responsible for each part of that system is our best method for adapting to the roads in this day and age.
This bill comes less than a month after Governor Stein signed a law allowing some drivers to keep their expired license for another 2 years. It is now headed to the Senate for consideration. In Raleigh, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
Thank you to Kirsten. Today, Republican Michael Whatley filed that campaign paperwork with federal election officials. That's the latest sign now that he does in fact plan to run for North Carolina's open U.S. Senate seat. Whatley is expected to make the formal announcement tomorrow in Gastonia. We'll wait and see what he does. Whatley did become the Republican National Committee chairman after years at the helm of the state Republican Party. He already has President Donald Trump's endorsement for the seat. Former congressional candidate Don Brown and former lieutenant governor candidate Andy Nilsen are also seeking that Republican nomination, and they tell WRL they do plan to stay in the race. But Whatley is considered the likely front runner for the Republican side of the ticket. Former Governor Roy Cooper is the only Democrat currently in the race.
Here in the WRAL Live Center, the Durham County Sheriff's Office is warning people in Durham about a string of fox attacks. Now, this is mainly happening near the Carolina Arbors neighborhood. And the Durham County Sheriff's Office says there have been 3 incidents of foxes biting or scratching people or animals within the last 48 hours. Now, they're unsure if the fox is sick, but they say if you're impacted by this, you should seek medical treatment. And remember, it is illegal to relocate foxes in North Carolina. So if you see one that's behaving strangely, you're asked to call animal control.
All right, good advice. Thank you, Carly. Hey, let's get you caught up now. I know a lot of you just getting your TVs tonight or getting into your tablets or phones. Those are the 5 things that you should know right now. A stopgap spending bill to keep the state running, essentially, is now on Governor Josh Stein's desk. It passed the House today, less than 24 hours after being unveiled, and then passed by the Senate. So it's moving quickly. This bill includes money to keep schools and Medicaid running. It does not include raises for teachers or state employees. Lawmakers have been deadlocked over the budget, the full budget, for weeks. They will continue to try and reach a deal on the big, actual, full-size budget as we move forward. UNC Chapel Hill is looking for ways to cut costs by $70 million. The university's chancellor told trustees the cost-cutting focuses in 3 separate areas. You have jobs, financial aid for out-of-state students, and programs that they offer. That includes cutting administrative staff, by the way, also eliminating some vacant roles and implementing retirement incentive programs, asking people to retire early. Duke University announced it will begin involuntary layoffs next month to address some funding cuts. Nearly 600 staff members took voluntary separation packages there. 250 faculty are still currently considering it. Meredith College also cutting 6% of its workforce because of financial pressures. Someone in Durham County tested positive for West Nile virus. The state health department says this is the first case in North Carolina this year. Mosquitoes with the virus also popped up in Pitt County, just outside of our area. Most people who get West Nile end up actually not having symptoms. In rare cases, though, the virus can be deadly. The virus doesn't spread from person to person. You just catch it from a mosquito bite. The U.S. Secretary of Veterans Affairs was in Fayetteville today talking about ways to improve care at the local VA medical center. This visit comes less than a month now after the department announced it is on pace to reduce its staffing levels by 30,000 employees by the end of the fiscal year. A lot of people were worried that maybe some of the benefits that would that go to veterans would get cut as well. Collins said they are working, though, to make quicker emergency referrals a priority, expanding the use of outside partners for long-term care and increasing the outreach to veterans not in the VA system currently. PFAS war coming up. We get a first-hand look at how a local company says it can destroy forever chemicals for less money. Also, a home explosion. What a story here. Neighbors are describing these moments that a house essentially exploded, went up in flames this morning. I know neighbors are anxious to find out the cause of this one. Investigators are looking into it, trying to figure out what caused a home explosion early this morning in Harnett County. Look what it did to the home here. This is just after 6 a.m. Calls came in about a massive explosion at this town, at this home in the town of Anger. A man was seriously burned, taken to a local hospital. Police have not provided any updates on his injuries, so not sure how he's doing. Police say that they did not detect any gas leaks. They called help from a bomb squad at one point. Units from the State Bureau of Investigations, Raleigh Police Department, they're all out there trying to figure this out, which is what left neighbors feeling a little uneasy this morning.
Thunder kind of shakes your house a little bit sometimes, but this literally felt like I felt my own home shift.
The house shook.
Almost like an earthquake.
Yeah, it was like an earthquake.
The FBI and ATF also help support this investigation. Again, we're still waiting for law enforcement to confirm the cause of this explosion. Sweeping changes to North Carolina election rules advanced in the state legislature today. So here's what they're proposing. Using computer software to analyze people's signatures. That means those computers could possibly throw out certain people's ballots if it's determined they don't match. It would also ban ranked choice voting. It would also remove legal protections for election workers against politically motivated hiring and firing. Members of the public, both liberal and conservative, they spoke out against parts of this bill today. Republican lawmakers say changes will be coming based on that feedback. There's more online at WRAL.com. North Carolina is waging an expensive war against PFAS. Those are those toxic forever chemicals linked to cancer and found in hundreds of water systems statewide. A local company says it can destroy the contaminants for less money. WRAL environmental reporter Liz McLaughlin is in Cary to show us how it works.
For most treatment systems, dealing with PFAS means collecting and filtering out the toxic stuff and then sending it somewhere else. But here, there's nothing to haul away. The chemicals are destroyed before leaving the tank.
A Burlington family's fight against PFAS began with heartbreak.
My sister passed away from breast cancer, and she was exposed to high levels of PFAS. So when she passed away, this became a personal mission, not just a business mission.
CEO Steve Wilsensky and her son Jacob Prince shared that vow, and together they launched Invicta Water.
I want to make her proud, and I know we will.
We first met Wilsensky and Prince in 2023. Today, the team is testing its biggest system yet on Jordan Lake.
And this is the pump station that feeds the town of Cary and the town of Apex.
The machine foams raw lake water so PFAS stick to bubbles. Then UV-lit crystals snap the chemicals apart, leaving no harmful leftovers.
That we can find, capture, remove, and completely destroy PFAS.
Since April 1st, the system has treated nearly 11 million gallons. Traditional carbon filters, such as Wilmington's $52 million project, collect PFAS into a toxic waste stream.
It's usually incinerated or buried, so you're not actually solving the problem, you're just kind of kicking it down the road. We are actually able in one process to remove and destroy all at exactly the same time, so there's absolutely no waste.
Cary currently uses powdered carbon, but hopes this new tech can be cleaner and cheaper.
This does not have the chemical cost, so that would be potentially a savings there. And also the disposal costs would not be there with Invicta.
Early lab tests show the pilot is working. Progress Wilsensky believes would make his sister proud.
So I think she's looking down and smiling for sure.
This is one of 14 pilot projects up and running, and Invicta tells me they have more partnerships to announce in the coming weeks in the Southeast. In Cary, I'm Liz McLaughlin, WRAL News.
So the town of Cary says it will analyze the lab results this fall to decide if the pilot project becomes permanent.
Here in the WRAL Live Center, 4 people have been arrested in connection to a breaking and entering case in Wake County. Now, this happened in Crowder Park on June 11th. A woman walked out to her car and found shattered glass and her belongings missing. Well, Roanoke police contacted Wake County deputies through the investigation and found her belongings in the possession of these 4 people who are in jail for something unrelated. Now, these 4 people also face charges in Virginia, South Carolina, and Georgia for similar crimes.
Thank you, Carly. Sanitation workers in the city of Raleigh are raising some concerns about what they're calling poor working conditions. An equipment operator, for instance, says sanitation staff work with outdated technology, face communication challenges. They face communication challenges and even broken equipment on a weekly basis.
You're not even an hour into your route. Your truck breaks down. It may take like 2 or 3 hours. You're down.
A spokesperson for the city says vehicles are inspected daily. They're serviced regularly. Plus, the department is also investing in some new technology to make everyone's jobs a bit easier. We have more on the workers' concerns and the city's response on WRAL.com. Meteorologist Kat Campbell joining us now with a beautiful shot behind her. Kat.
I love this live picture from the WRAL studios here. It's looking right up at the TV tower. You can see some of the clouds lit up by the sun in the distance. The sun slowly going down this evening. No rain out there at the moment in Wake County. We've got one teeny tiny shower in South Durham. That's pretty much it. One very small shower near Carl Lake. Not a whole lot of activity for now. Most of that has been to our west. We do expect an uptick, though, tomorrow as this front gets closer to us. It's scattered storms mainly during the afternoon and evening, but there will be more on the radar tomorrow morning, waking up to more clouds, and then these scattered storms develop out ahead of this front, and they'll likely continue into tomorrow evening. We've seen a trend on the models today. We first told you about this at noon, where the front pushes a little farther to the southeast by Friday, and that may mean that the bulk of the storms on Friday are south and east of Raleigh. We lowered storm chances a little bit Friday, but there will still be that chance, especially in our southern counties where we've got the medium flood threat, and the medium flood threat for Friday was also trimmed back because of the front moving a little farther to the south. That means Wake County, the Triangle Points north, are in the low flood threat now for Friday. We're not under a medium risk tomorrow, but that could change. Check in with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tomorrow morning, and she'll let you know if any areas are upgraded. 82 the high Saturday, 84 Sunday. A gorgeous weekend ahead. 66 Saturday night, 66 Sunday night. Make outdoor plans. Get some fresh air. It's just going to be so nice out there. We'll wake up to temperatures in the mid to upper 60s early Sunday morning, 78 by noon, warming up into the low to mid 80s during the afternoon. We still got to get through tomorrow first, though. Tomorrow highs reach the low to mid 90s again, 78 already by 8 a.m. By noon, we've got about a 30% chance for rain, and that goes up to 40% later tomorrow during the afternoon and evening. Once we get past tomorrow's 95, the entire rest of the 7-day forecast features highs in the 80s. Saturday looking nice, but Sunday is when the humidity will be a little bit lower compared to Saturday. You're really going to start to feel that humidity dip, likely Saturday evening and night. But the whole weekend looks pretty good compared to what we have seen lately. By the middle of next week, storm chances begin to climb. Temperatures may climb a bit as well, but we're not looking at that major heat like we had for the past week.
That's going to be nice. Thank you, Kat. Radioactive insects. Coming up, we have one last thing, where a nest of radioactive wasps was found and what officials are saying about it. Also, as a reminder, if you see breaking news, if you see it happen in your area, weather perhaps, and you have a tip maybe for WRAL, you can report it. Go to WRAL.com/report it to send your video, pictures, or tips to our news team. We're back after this. All right, time now for our one last thing. You've heard of Spider-Man. Everybody's heard of Spider-Man, right? There's also the superhero sidekick to Ant-Man, and that is the Wasps. So there is already a Wasp superhero, but we might have to add another. How about Wasp Man, for instance? That's right, because you can get out of the way, radioactive spiders. We have radioactive wasps coming to town. Not technically our town, more like Aiken, South Carolina. That's close enough to town for me. A report published by the U.S. Department of Energy says that radioactive wasps were found at the Savannah River site. It's an old nuclear weapons site. The wasps found there were found to have moderately high levels of radiation. The immediate action, the wasp nest was sprayed to kill the wasps, then bagged as radioactive waste. So not great news for the wasp. But the good news is here that the insects were radioactive due to legacy contamination, not a current contamination issue. That's kind of a silver lining, I guess. The ground and surrounding area did not have any contamination. That is the main headline there. Radioactive animals, though, are not really a new discovery. Chernobyl the home of several radioactive critters. Famously, there was a pack of feral dogs living within that exclusion zone. There's a genetic researcher with NC State who has become more or less a leading expert in this Chernobyl pack. PhD awardee Megan Dillon was part of a team that discovered evidence suggesting that Chernobyl's dogs could have adapted to chemical and environmental exposure over generations. Now, let's go back to the Savannah River site. So it's actually receiving national attention right now for some reasons other than the radioactive wasps. It was one of 4 sites picked by the U.S. Department of Energy to power the global AI race. The National Nuclear Security Administration says it will provide crucial cooling to new AI data centers. U.S. Secretary of Energy Chris Wright calls it the next Manhattan Project. Okay, radioactive wasps, it begins there. Where's it go next? Thanks for making WRAL your choice for local news. Our next newscast is at 10 o'clock on Fox 50. We'll see you back here on WRAL tonight at 11. Have a good one.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air channel 34 and Spectrum channel 1257.